What if I told you that a habit you probably don't even think about, something you might be doing right this very second, is sending a panic signal to your brain and throwing your hormones into a state of total chaos? You won't feel it as a sharp pain, you won't see it in the mirror, but inside your body, this silent habit is triggering a flood of adrenaline and cortisol that could be tricking your doctor into prescribing medications you don't actually need. I want to tell you about a patient of mine named Elena. Elena is 66, a retired teacher, and someone who takes her health very seriously. She walks every morning, watches her sugar, and never misses a checkup. But for the last 6 months, Elena felt like her body was failing her. She was constantly tired. Her brain fog was making it hard to focus on her books, and she felt a strange, jittery anxiety that she couldn't explain. Worst of all, every time she went to the clinic, her blood pressure was high. Her doctor kept increasing her dose, but the higher the dose went, the worse Elena felt. She started getting dizzy when she stood up and felt weak just going up a flight of stairs. Elena thought she was just aging fast, but she wasn't. She was simply trapped in a cycle of hormonal misinformation caused by one silent habit. My name is Dr. Lucia Herrera, and after years of working with patients just like Elena, I've realized that our modern lifestyle has taught us to ignore the most basic signals our bodies send us. Today, I am going to reveal exactly what that silent habit is, how it's damaging your hormonal balance, and, most importantly, the simple 3-minute fix that can restore your energy and protect your heart. Before we go any further, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but you still don't feel right? If that sounds like you, please type "me too" in the comments right now. I read every single one of your stories, and it helps me know exactly how to help you. You are not alone in this. Let's get right to it. The silent habit that is damaging your hormones is something so simple you might find it hard to believe: ignoring a full bladder. Now wait, before you think "that's not me," think about how often you sit through a long movie, a car ride, or even a doctor's waiting room thinking, "I can hold it for a few more minutes." We do it every day, but here is what is actually happening inside your aging body. When your bladder fills with urine, special stretch sensors in the bladder wall send a signal straight to your brainstem. This is the part of your brain that controls automatic functions, like your heart rate and breathing. Your brain doesn't just think, "I need to go to the bathroom," it interprets that pressure as a stress signal. In response, your brain activates your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight mode. It releases a surge of adrenaline into your bloodstream. Adrenaline tells your heart to beat faster and your blood vessels to squeeze tighter. This is your body preparing for a crisis, all because you're holding it while sitting on the couch. This hormonal spike isn't small. Research shows that a full bladder can raise your systolic blood pressure, the top number, by 4 to 33 points. Think about the danger here. You arrive at your doctor's appointment, you've been drinking water because you want to stay hydrated, you're sitting in the waiting room, your bladder getting fuller, and finally you're called back. A nurse wraps a cuff around your arm and takes a reading. That number comes back elevated, but that number isn't your real blood pressure. It's a reflection of a hormonal stress response triggered by your bladder. Now your doctor sees that high number and increases your medication. When you go home and your bladder is empty, your blood pressure drops too low. This is why you feel dizzy, weak, or lightheaded. You aren't sick, you are being treated for a hormonal ghost. But the damage doesn't stop with adrenaline. Your hormones work like an orchestra. When one instrument is screaming, the others can't do their jobs. This chronic, silent stress from holding your urine or measuring your vitals incorrectly creates a ripple effect. First, let's talk about your thyroid. I often tell my patients that the thyroid is the master thermostat of the body. It regulates how fast your metabolism runs and how hard your heart pumps. When your body is constantly flooded with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, it can actually interfere with how your thyroid hormones work. This leads to a condition many seniors face: sluggish circulation. If your thyroid function is low, your system slows to a crawl. Your blood becomes sticky, like syrup instead of water. This is why your hands and feet might feel like blocks of ice even in a warm room. Your nerves start suffocating because they aren't getting enough oxygen-rich blood, leading to that terrible tingling or pins and needles sensation. And then there's melatonin, your sleep hormone. If your adrenaline is spiking during the day because of these silent habits, it becomes much harder for your body to transition into rest mode at night. After age 60, your body already produces significantly less melatonin. When you add the mental static of an overactive stress response, you end up with fragmented sleep. This lack of sleep then raises your cortisol even higher the next morning, creating a cycle of exhaustion that no amount of coffee can fix. There's another silent habit I see in almost every kitchen, and it's something your doctor probably hasn't mentioned: the way you eat your vegetables. Specifically, I want to talk about canned tomatoes. I know they seem healthy, but most canned goods are lined with a chemical called BPA. For an aging body, BPA is a hormone mimicker. It disrupts your hormonal balance and triggers silent inflammation in your blood vessels. This inflammation acts like a thick sludge in your system. It makes your arteries stiff and hard instead of soft and flexible. When your arteries are stiff, your heart has to work harder and your hormones have to stay in a high alert state just to keep blood flowing to your brain. If you're cooking with refined seed oils like canola, soybean, or corn oil, you're adding fuel to that fire. These oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which, when eaten in excess, fan the flames of chronic inflammation. This inflammation is silent because you can't feel it, but it is the primary engine that builds arterial plaque and weakens the signal between your brain and your legs. Now I need to talk about the most dangerous 30 seconds of your day. It's a habit you've probably had for 50 years. You wake up, the alarm goes off, and you stand up fast to get to the bathroom or the kitchen. To you, it's just getting out of bed, but to your 60 or 70-year-old cardiovascular system, it's an ambush. While you were sleeping, you became mildly dehydrated. Your blood volume is lower, and your blood is slightly thicker. When you stand up suddenly, gravity pulls about 2 to 3 cups of blood down into your legs. In a younger body, your sensors react in a second, but as we age, that reflex slows. There's a window of 3 or 4 seconds where your brain isn't getting enough blood flow. This is called orthostatic hypotension. This sudden drop triggers another emergency hormone release. Your heart races to catch up. If you do this every single morning, you're starting your day in a state of hormonal red alert before you've even had your first sip of water. Over time, these repeated episodes are linked to an increased risk of falls and even cognitive decline. Dr. Herrera's 7-step hormone reset protocol. I don't want to just tell you what's wrong, I want to give you the tools to fix it. This is the protocol I gave to Alina, and within 3 weeks, her brain fog lifted, her anxiety disappeared, and we were actually able to reduce her blood pressure medication. Here is your hormone reset protocol. Write these down because they cost nothing but can change everything. Step 1. The empty first rule. Before you ever measure your blood pressure, whether at home or at the clinic, empty your bladder, no exceptions. Then sit quietly for 5 full minutes with your back supported and your feet flat on the floor. This ensures you're measuring your true baseline, not an adrenaline spike. Step 2. The 60-second sit. When you wake up in the morning, do not jump out of bed. Sit on the edge of the bed for 1 full minute. This gives your autonomic nervous system time to engage and prevents that dizzy drop that stresses your heart and hormones. Step 3. The nightstand water habit. Keep a glass of water on your nightstand. Drink at least 8 ounces before your feet hit the floor. This increases your circulating blood volume and gives your heart the fuel it needs to maintain pressure when you stand up. Step 4. The pumpkin seed sleep snack. If you struggle with sleep, eat 1 ounce of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds in the evening. They contain tryptophan, which your body naturally converts into serotonin and then into melatonin. It's a way to support your sleep hormones through biology instead of a pill. Step 5. The ground flaxseed protocol. For my ladies watching, especially if you're past menopause, add 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed to your breakfast. Flax seeds contain lignans, which act as weak estrogens to help balance your system and protect your heart. Just remember, buy it ground and keep it in the fridge so the oils don't go rancid. Step 6. The oil change. Replace the vegetable oils in your kitchen with extra virgin olive oil for low heat or avocado oil for high heat. This one change reduces the silent inflammation that blocks your hormones from doing their jobs. Step 7. The fresh swap.